And because of these new measurements, because of all this new big data, I think we have the potential to really get to and answer a lot of the long-standing questions in things like social science, which we've just been unable to answer before. Okay, so more data, more problems, right? So yes, it's the richest social data set in the world. It also means that it's huge. It's over a petabyte of data. That's a petabyte of all of you, like, updating your statuses and uploading photos. And hopefully you're doing that right now. Yeah. And to deal with that, you need tools, right? So you need a lot of nodes. You need to do distributed computing, things like Hadoop and MapReduce. And we also have a great system called Hive, which essentially puts a relational database on top of a MapReduce framework that allows us to do structured queries on top of this rich data set. And this means that we can easily process terabytes a day, and we're adding terabytes every single day to this data set. So I want to touch on a few of the things that sort of you can do when looking at this data. Some stuff that our group has been looking at. So one of the things you can do is just look at what people are talking about. It's super simple. You can look at all the words that are being generated, messages, status updates, comments, etc. And then slice by various features like demographics, age, location, gender, etc. So you can, for example, try to figure out where people are getting laid off, or you can try to figure out how people refer to vodka differently depending on your gender or age. So as it turns out, if you are extremely young over here and slightly male, you will tend to use the word drunk. And maybe if you're a little bit older, maybe female, you'll probably mention cranberry more often. I mean, this is really cool stuff, and this is right? And the fact of the matter is that this kind of information is really difficult and expensive to get traditionally, right? There's no way you could have, asked a bunch of people about vodka, or that you would even think of doing that. But the fact is, we have a lot of data. A lot of data means that you can get fine-grained answers to a lot of questions. Another example of this, we built a great tool called Lexicon, which allows you to just plot words and see what the trends are. So for example, you can plot party versus hangover and see pretty reliably that every Saturday, a lot of people mention partying, and every Sunday, a lot of people mention hangovers. Incredible regularity. And the peak hangover day happens to actually be New Year's Day, which happens one day after the peak party day, which is New Year's Day, New Year's Eve. Yeah, so that's all fun and games. And one of the people on our team, Adam Kramer, actually did a great study to try to look at how happiness, if you can discern happiness using status updates. And happiness, again, is one of these things where people like Gallup go around and they call a bunch of people and they have people take surveys on a fairly regular basis to try to get at this. It turns out, if you look at status updates, they actually correlate really well with user self-reported happiness. And he actually did this study, recruited a bunch of people, had them take these traditional surveys, and found that the positivity and negativity in their status updates correlated with their survey responses. Their survey responses were predictive of their positivity and negativity in their status updates going back 2 years, which is really interesting. So we actually put together a tool so you can actually look at happiness. Since I'm short on time, I'll go quickly. Another thing you might want to look at is ethnicity. So there are a lot of great. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So since I have to stop now, just some punchlines. One, yes, people are very homophilous in ethnicity, so birds of a feather do flock together. And also, as it turns out, there's a lot of interesting things you can do by looking at where you and your friends live. And in fact, you can do a pretty good job of predicting where you live based on where all your friends live. So, yeah, so since I'm out of time, Facebook, really rich data set, and I think it can really help us answer a lot of the questions that people have had for a long time about society. And I also think that this kind of data actually opens the possibility to a lot of new questions, which we haven't even thought of yet. Hopefully we'll get some ideas today. Thank you.
suspicions about the social sciences, but more pragmatically, there's a huge storehouse of information here to be mined for discoveries in